Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. All right, we got a really fun episode. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Batman 1059 with this really cool cover where the people kind of look like a Riddler question mark and they're wearing the green outfit. It's just a really neat idea for a front cover. It's just such a cool cover. Speaking of cool covers, we do have the 200 subscriber giveaway on deck, and when we hit 200 subscribers, we're going to be giving away this book. It's the Joker Mark Brooks variant cover, and additionally, you're going to get a CBCA sticker. So that's the Comic Book Community Awards. It's kind of like Oscars for comic book community people. So it's a really cool sticker. And if you guys are interested in checking that out, check out Brian LCS's channel. All right, guys, let's do the review. We got Batman 1059 going on right now, and it's a really good issue. Now, as always, there's a couple of things that we do have to let you guys know about before we get dived into the issue, right? Now, the first thing I want to let you guys know is heavy spoilers from here on out. We're going to be going heavy into spoilers. All right, so let's get dived right on in. Now, the other thing I always want to cover before we get into the details is I wanted to shout out the creative team on the book. And so for this one we have Mariko Tamaki and Nadia Shamas as the writers, and Ivan Reese is doing pencils, with Danny Mickey doing the inks, Brad Anderson doing the colors, and Ariana Maher doing the letters. All right, so let's get dived right in here. Now we start off with a Riddler monologue, and it says, "Ah, yes, another morning in a beautiful little city called Gotham. You're all tuning into my little pirate radio, trying to get the good word on a bad situation. They want to shut us down and shut us out, but we're just too much to resist. So I creep through the airways right up to your front door. Who am I? Well, no need for mystery there. It's your faithful host, the neighbor, the Riddler here, asking questions to answer your questions. That's the thing, isn't it? The thing you know is creeping over the horizon. Do you have questions, Gotham? I think you do. The answer's always there if you look for it. Riddle me this, Gotham City listeners. When is a criminal not a criminal? Give up? Yes, it seems many of you have. But don't worry. With the dawn comes clarity. The light catches us all. For nothing is hid that shall not be made manifest, nor anything secret that shall not be known and come to light. My dear denizens, my stalwart citizens, my weary friends, fear not. We're just getting started." As we transpose to the Gotham City courthouse the next day, and we see the Judge Donovan proceeding over a trial. She dismisses a case, and as she's walking out, she kind of goes into her office, sits down, and realizes as she throws her coffee in the trash that there's a bomb in the trash. So she goes running out the building, says, "Bomb, everybody clear out." And so everybody runs out, police are called, clear out, move, all the forces stand by a lot. And then in comes the Batman, and we get this cool scene of him kind of busting through the window right there. So that's pretty cool. And he lands in there where the bomb's in the trash, and he goes, "Wires and take ducks. Oracle, do you copy?" She says, "I'm here, Batman. What's the sit rep?" He says, "I've found the device, but the trace detector is still picking up an active bomb. Something's wrong. Unless a second device," says Batman. "Oracle, I have the explosive. tell GCP to get everyone back from the building. And he grabs the explosive and jumps out the building with it, and it explodes. But he's Batman, so he's all right. And then we see she's just kind of shocked at the scene of the accident there, and they tell her, we should really get you to the hospital. She's like, okay, let's get to the hospital, right? And her mom gets a call, and her mom rushes to the hospital, and she's like, Mom, stop it, I'm fine. So her mom goes away, but she's like, something's going on. And on her way out, she runs into Bruce Wayne, who happens to be to be walking in on the situation, and he's brought some flowers, and he's apparently met her before. I think she's a reporter, um, and so he says, Deb, I should have expected to see you here, getting the scoop on the bombing. And she's like, I'm not getting a scoop, I don't have time for you right now. She's really upset about what happened to her daughter, and is like, if you want to help, go use your charms on her and get me something I can use. So that's kind of what happens. I think that was Bruce Wayne's plan all along. He enters the hospital where the judge is, and they don't know each other. They've never met, and he brings her flowers, and she's like, "You bring flowers to strangers often?" And they make some small talk, and sort of ends on that. She's like, "I saw you at a get together once, but I didn't approach you. I thought you'd probably be a bore." And he's like, "Oh no." um, Maybe we can have a cheap drink somewhere now that I'm broke. And he's like, I'll see you soon. So he's kind of hitting on her a little bit. I don't know. I think he's just trying to get information, honestly, because he asks her, like, does she remember anything about what happened before the bomb? Before she found the bomb, right? She doesn't. So then we get some more Bruce Wayne monologuing here inside of his Batcave. He says, computer record, recording, rough job, not professionals, both bombs, made from easily found hardware, items rigged to a phone with no active number, hidden in a garbage can, redundant devices suggest extensive premeditation, rigged to explode as Judge Donovan concluded her court proceedings for the day. Possible motives? Anyone Judge Donovan is recently sentenced. No prints. Comparing the cameras and staff directory, 2 extra janitors on duty. Non-standard Gotham City custodial uniforms. Standard civil worker stuff. At least 3 locations distribute those in Gotham City, but only one has made any recent sales in a size extra small. So he's kind of deducted where some of the bomb making stuff was purchased and who purchased it. So he shows up there and he's like, it's an online brand influencer volunteer at the local soup kitchen. And he shows up and she says, the courthouse bomber, you don't have to interrogate me or torture me or whatever it is you do. I'm not resisting. Take me in. Batman says, why? That's the one thing I can't say, Batman. You've caught me, put me in jail, and call it. Batman says, I know you were working with accomplices. She says, I'm sorry I can't help. Just please, take me in, please. And then we see Gotham General where the judge is kind of sitting watching TV, and they're reporting that Sarah Petz turned herself in, and then we get Riddler cutting in again on the airwaves, and he says, "Riddle me this, Gotham. Since you've tuned in once again to my little show, Who can still be surprised at something as tragic as a bombing in Gotham? A tourist? Truly, my Gothamites, does a day pass without tragedy? Does anyone truly know what lies in the heart of the person next to you? Doesn't take the world's greatest detective to figure that out. And speaking of, riddle me this, Batman. What is the call that can only be heard after the fat lady sings? And then we see Batman showing up at the scene, and police officer says he was stabbed in his seat at the end of the show. Batman says, "Fat lady sings." The police officer says, "What was that?" "The curtain call," Batman says. "Did anyone see anything?" The police officer says, "No, it was a dark theater. Applause and all. Standing ovation. No one noticed anything until the lights came back on." Batman says, "Has Sarah Pett talked?" Policeman says, "Nope. Refused a lawyer, even." Batman says, "I want to speak to Martin Ashen. His was the last case in the courtroom before the bomb went off." Policeman says, "I gotta check with the captain." And you hear over the speakers, "All officers to the Bank of Gotham." And the policeman says over his speaker, "What's going on?" And they say, they repeat back, "Some kind of gas. It appears lethal. Proceed with caution." And some more Batman monologue. "Was this on the Riddler's broadcast? Was there something I missed? He's been streaming every morning. His own Good Morning Gotham. Millions of viewers daily. Riddler, a.k.a. Edward Nygma. Not a word or move out of him for months. Now suddenly he's taken to the airwaves just as a wave of crimes committed by amateurs strikes the city. It can't be coincidence. But there's only ever one listener he's trying to reach." As we see Batman landing in the poison mist. Some really nice artwork going on there. And people are coughing, running. He gives one lady a mask, and this guy just starts running and taking off. And Batman kind of chases him down. He says, "This won't end well for you." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I know. My name is John Harper, and I'm sorry." And he commits suicide with a gun, and Batman's quite disturbed, as you can imagine. Um, and so Batman's monologuing. He's back. He's back at his Bat cave, but now he's kind of got like a Riddler patchwork going on with, you know what I'm saying, strings and yarns, and he's trying to connect the dots. He says, "At least 4 people involved in major crimes. All of them openly confess. All with no criminal past. No connection to each other, socially or professionally, and yet one right after another." And then Riddler pops on the TV again. "3 tragedies in 24 hours. A trinity, if you will." "Trinities are holy. Good things come in threes. Third time's the charm." "Nothing good comes out of Gotham, does it? If this a sermon, then let me say what Gotham needs is an exorcism. Who's up to the task? I dabble in numerology, as it happens." Batman says, "What are you up to, Edward?" As he continues watching the broadcast, Riddler says, "The thing about devils is that they disguise themselves before our very eyes. The road to hell, and all those good intentions. Batman, Batman, why hast thou forsaken me? You never answered my question. Riddle me this. When's a murderer not a murderer? The bodies are piling up, Batman." And that's Oh, we do get a panel here as well where the what's her name? The judge Chase. She answers the phone and tells whoever it is on the line, "Don't call me ever. We'll speak at the next meeting. I did what you asked. I won't. You promised me no one would be hurt." And then there's a backup story in this one. It's called Gotham Girl Interrupted. The writer is Sina Grace, and the artist is David Lapham. The colors are by Trish Mulvihill. The letters by Rob Lay, and it starts off and it's Gotham Girl monologuing. She's kind of upset about stuff that's going down in her life. She was just recently had gotten out of Arkham Asylum, and somebody else is apparently going around dressed as her and using her name. So she's sort of trying to figure out who that is and beats her way into a bar and confronts a guy named yeah, I'm sure you would think they would give his name. Um, yeah, I don't know. Mr. Kimura, there it is. All right. So she meets this guy, Mr. Kimura, kind of crashes up his bar, leaves and breaks through the roof, flying style. I guess she's kind of like Superman powers. And then you see her cross off a name. She says, "With all that, with that, all my leads have dried up. Asking Batman for help would be bad. I know Oracle is an expert at computer stuff, but I don't know Oracle like that. Plus, anyone in the Bat family would narc on me." So you see that she's kind of getting free dinner from people that are throwing out Chinese food as they after their business is closed for the night, and she's living in the abandoned Wayne Manor on the outskirts of Gotham City. And her best friend appears to be the broke off head of some concrete gargoyle statue, and she talks to the head and talks about how she's kind of losing it. And then there's another guy. She's at school the next day, and I guess someone that got out before her from Arkham Asylum, uh, Arkham Tower, excuse me. Um, he's kind of like, we missed you at the meetings. You should come by, and maybe he's kind of got the hots for her, but she's kind of just walks away and brushes it off, and so maybe we'll see him again, I guess. And then so she's talking again to herself in abandoned Wayne Manor, about this boy and how she doesn't want to date him, and she doesn't want to go talk to people because they're just gonna tell her about how hard her life is, and she already knows and doesn't want to hear it anymore. And then she's like, "All right, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe she's like, I'm gonna go talk to him, get it off my chest, right?" So she goes flying off and is like, "All right, I'm gonna go to where he said he would be hanging out tonight, and maybe come meet him." And she shows up, and only to find out that he has committed suicide, and his name's Andre, and so he's dead now. And says next, who killed Gotham Girl? And so that was Batman 1059. I think I kind of have said this before, but maybe not as much as I'm gonna put it out there on this one. I really don't like the backup stories. It just interrupts the flow. It's like you're reading two different comic books. It's drawn by different people that, I mean, it's kind of a more cartoonish feel. Like, hey man, this is my opinion, I guess. I I wouldn't have bought the backup comic book. I would have flipped through it and been like, yeah, that's not for me. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that they forced those into it. Hopefully it is like leading towards something, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously that's a Bat Family character, and so I'm going to assume that they have a plan, cuz one of the reasons I jumped on here too is this was the start of a new story arc for the main story and the start of a new story arc for the backup story. So it was all completely new story arc. Um, yeah, I liked the first story enough that I'll buy 1060. I'll buy the next issue. But man, I do hope that that backup issue picks up a little bit more. I sort of skipped over a lot. There's like a lot of inner dialogue by her, and it was a little bit of overkill, honestly. And then my other side note, I guess, about the issue, like if you have problems with suicide or anything like that, there are two in this issue, which okay. I mean, hammer the point home, DC, but all right. Um, man, this is the first time I've ever done this, but I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down, guys. I'm gonna buy the next issue because I really like the Riddler. I really um, like riddles and stuff like that, and it kind of seemed like they were gonna do that, but this one kind of was a chore to read. Wasn't really, like I said, I was enjoying that first part, and if that story like kept going through the back half of it, and there was no uh, backup issue, I think I would have ended up with a thumbs up. But it not the front story, the front story not being really strong, or you know what I'm saying, and then the backup story just kind of weighed it down to the point where I'm like, I can't recommend this for. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hopefully the next issue picks up, and then I can say, yeah, go back and pick up 1059 and 1060 because it's weaving a good story. But yeah, we'll find out next month, right? I'll pick up 1060 and we'll see. That's all I got on this one. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe for your chance to win the Joker #1, and Batman Detective Comics gets the first thumbs down ever on the channel. All right, I'm sorry, Batman. I really like Batman too. What can you do? We'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, if you like this kind of content, click the link below and shop on my eBay store. All right, have a great night, okay?